Okay, so last time we did some shadows. This resource we're going to cover how to do gradients and to use those as our shadows. I actually like this effect more than just cutting shadows into it. This is its own thing, but I think the gradient just has a better effect. So we are going to apply gradients onto these color shapes. So make sure you're on your gradient layer. I would lock all the other layers, and I'll start with his eyes. So I'll zoom in here, click on his eye, get my gradient tool over here, and I'll need to go up to my window and get my gradient panel out as well. And it'll probably be set to black and white. So in that case, you will need to click on your gradient bar and then double click on one of your colors. This will pop up, go up to the menu bar and select RGB. And now you have your colors. And then you can click here on your eyedropper color picker. And I'm just going to come over here to this yellow in the eye and select that. And I'm going to double click on my black. And I think I'm going to select, actually I don't need to select anything. I think I'll have it go into, I'll click up here on my color. For whatever reason, this is just resetting back to grayscale. If it does that, just go back up there to menu, click RGB, and I think I'm going to have this go into an orange kind of color. I like that. And now with my gradient tool, I can adjust how much I want it to be affecting it. So I can come here, click on the bar, get more of that orange in there, a little bit less of the orange. Double click on it to bring back the color picker if I want. Should be able to move it there. There we go. I think I want about that amount of orange coming in. Alright, now the easy thing with the other eye, I can just click on it, get my eyedropper tool, press I on my keyboard and click on the one I already made, and it's going to apply to it. And if there's too much orange in there, I'll just click back on my gradient tool and adjust on this guy. If I don't click on it, there we go. Probably about that much. Right about there, that's good. And then the whole process will be going through and adding shadows using the gradient. So I can click on this arm, maybe this as well. So I'll hold shift and click the arm and that part of his body. Get my gradient tool here, get the gradient panel back out. Click on the bar, and it's just going to apply the last one I used. I'm going to double click on that first yellow, get my eyedropper, click on this brown, and then I'm going to double click on this eyedropper, or sorry, this color slider, go back to my eyedropper and select a darker brown, probably even a little bit darker. So I'll go to about right there. And if I need to, all right, we gotta figure this out. Get my gradient panel out. There we go. If I need to reverse it as well, if I want the shadows going the other direction, I can just click on reverse and you see it reverses that gradient. Now I have the darks up here on his, where I would prefer to have them. And I can just now mess around with this slider over here to get it just as I like it. like so. There we go. Now this one actually has a different gradient attached to it. If you notice, it has its own bar. So if and I can adjust it here as well. I can reverse that gradient on it. There we go. And that's probably pretty good. Not much to be done there. But let's say I want to apply the same gradient kind of across an area. So let me find maybe a good example. Okay, so how about this? So here's one shape, and here's another shape, and another shape, right? And I want to apply one single gradient across all of them without having it a gradient slider on each one as I did on this one, where I had to adjust this one and I had to adjust this one separately. In that case, we need to click on one shape, click on the other shape, and click on the other shape, holding shift to select multiple shapes. And we're going to go up to our Pathfinder panel. Actually, let's try this first. We're going to go up to Object, Compound Path, and click Make. And I believe that's all we need to do. Yeah, there we go. Now these are going to be read as by Illustrator as one shape to apply something onto. So that was hold down Shift, select multiple shapes, and then go up to Object, Compound Path, and Make. And now we're going to apply a gradient just like so across the whole thing. So I will double click on my first brown, get my eyedropper, click on this brown up there, double click on this one, get my eyedropper, and I'm going to click on the same color, but then I'm going to click on it again because I just need to make it, I need it just to be a little bit darker. So, you know what, I think I'm going to try and find a slightly darker color in here. Not yellow. Still a little bit too much yellow. You know what, let's pick it up from here. About, yeah, there we go. A little bit darker. Now I'm going to get my gradient tool and figure out how I want this to go on it. And I can change the angle of it to so the left one I can move the slider, and then the right one I can change the angle. So first I am going to, yeah, I think I'll have it go from this angle. The dark's coming up from up here underneath his chin, and I can extend that however much I like. Extend that bar out, click on the right bar and extend it. I think I'm going to extend it even more. Zoom out a little bit. And I think I'll pull a little bit of that darker color out. And I like that. That's working pretty good. And this is the whole basic process of what I would continue to do across the rest of my Wile E. Coyote. Click on this finger as well, and using my eyedropper, because it's the same as this one, I would just click there, but I need to go and manipulate. I need to go to my gradient tool and make sure it's correct on the hand here. So I might have to change the angle of it some. I think I need to hold this one out. move this probably about there. Now this diamond is controlling how much of this darker color is being applied on this bar scale. So if I bring it up, you can see it's applying more of it. So I'm going to bring it out just a little bit, like so. And I think that one's good. Just a subtle but good effect. So that is the process for how to apply gradients across your vector.